what it be, dog? We're on.
Norm, what's happening, baby?
Man, not a damn thing. And I gotta add you to the show because I set up a new just chatting screen for two people because I forgot that all the windows that I had were for 3 and 4 people.
I'm having some audio issues hearing you.
Am I breaking up?
No, it just sounds like you're talking through a pillow.
How about now?
Perfect.
Yeah, it was my audio switched for Discord.
Perfect. Yeah,
All
big
right.
change. Good change.
Yeah. 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 Let's go with a. What am I doing? Let's go with a. Not browser. Let's go with a. Window capture. How about that? So what's good, big dog?
Oh, everything is good. I mean, life is good, right? I was just in Mexico for a whole week and highlight of my life. Well, maybe not, but it was amazing.
Better than getting married. I heard it here first.
Don't say that again. Don't say it out loud.
Shh. It'll be okay. Shh. It'll be fine.
I'll
Nobody
tell
needs.
you there was a lot less going on.
Nope. Nobody
But
needs to hear about it. This is all. This is all. Nobody's watching. We're fine.
but yeah, so week back now, trying to win the lottery now, putting all my money in mega bucks, try to find a way to you know, get back to Mexico every day for the rest of my life.
So basically, move there.
Yeah, basically. I do think my money would go a lot farther. Although, like, you look at some of the prices on stuff, and it's like, boy, this is a fraction of what it would be in the United States. Or why are they charging so much for this? There must be something I don't understand about it. Like sunscreen is more money than like most of the interesting things that you'd want to buy there.
I bet you sunscreen's pretty goddamn important for somebody from Wisconsin, though.
Yeah. I mean, I got back to work and people are like, "Are you sure you went to Mexico?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I sure did." And I put on 50 sunscreen like for the first 4 days to make sure that I was going to enjoy it. So,
That sounds like me going to Florida on Wednesday. It's it is a education in Irish blood and sun exposure.
yeah, right. And then you
Yeah,
show them the watch tan, and it's like, oh yeah, okay, I guess, like, yeah, all right.
yeah. Not gonna lie,
But
I have a pretty sweet farmer tan right now, so I have a nice base.
I wish I could do a little before and after. You know, like remember, this is what I looked like before, and this is what I look like now, and there's a big difference.
Yeah, just put on a. You can still do it now. You can put on a sheet and then find somebody to Photoshop like a matchstick as your head,
Yeah,
a
basically,
burnt matchstick.
just basically. But no, it was an amazing time. My wife's a fun person to hang around with, and we
Rumor
met
has
a
it.
really cool group of people from Oklahoma, and we ended up hanging out with them kind of on and off the whole time. We went out to dinner with them and stuff like that. So
Nice.
yeah,
So you
it's a
made some
good
new
deal.
friends.
Yeah,
Did you make it Facebook official?
my wife did. Yeah, we're obviously we're beginning talks of when we're all gonna go on another trip together. So You know,
That's
it's like the
hilarious.
step one where it's like, hey, let's get it on the calendar and it'll happen. So let's see.
I think good luck.
Yeah, right. No, I hear you.
Yeah. You have a better chance of actually going to Oklahoma or them coming to Wisconsin before you going on another complete vacation.
It's funny. It's funny. We actually had a guy. He's like, "Can you actually get your hands on Packer tickets?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's actually not hard to buy Packer tickets. It's hard to be a season owner of
Yeah.
Packer tickets,
Yeah,
but
I mean, you could
it's
go to
not
every
hard to
single
buy
game.
them."
Yeah, you could go to every single
And
game
he's
if you were
like,
motivated and had money.
"Right, right. I mean, there's you can get it. The cost is prohibitive if it's in an early December game and they're against the Vikings or something like that, and it seems to matter. Then the cost gets prohibitive.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he was like, "Oh, okay, well, so if I came up and visited you, then we could go to the Packer game." I'm like, "Slow your roll, bro. I hardly know you." But
We reserve going to a Packer game with real friends.
yeah, yeah. I'm just like, I don't know how. Am I gonna have to clean up after you get belligerent and start throwing up in the bathroom? Like, what's happening here? I
Yeah,
don't even know you.
yeah,
But
yeah.
but it was fun. I mean, it's fun to talk about that stuff.
Oh, whatever works, man. Whatever
No, I
gets
mean
you.
that's yeah.
That does sound like a
It was
good
good.
time, though.
It was. Yeah, and then we had a room by the beach, but the beach is pretty far from like the restaurants and bar area and stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
like every night we're trying to like get ready, and it's 100 degrees and with the humidity. So then you've got to walk like 10 minutes to get to the restaurant area. So by the time I get to the restaurant area, I mean, you know me, right? I'm like, I've got like a towel in my hand and I'm like trying to sop up all the sweat from walking that far. Well, about day three, we realized that people around us are calling a car like a little golf cart and they're getting picked up and brought to the restaurant area.
It's like Mexican Uber.
So, yeah, once we figure that out, it's like Christmas morning. I'm like, yep, bring me a car, baby. I'm a big deal. I need a limo. So,
Eh. Yeah.
and
Work
and then
smarter, not
then
harder.
it's yeah, and then it just opened up the world for us. Like, hey, man, why would we trudge that way and be sweating halfway through dinner yet when we can just call a golf cart and feel the breeze on the way in. So that's what we ended up doing most of the nights.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. And then like they give you a bunch of bottles of liquor for the room. But by the time I get back to the room, like I've had 67, let's just round up. I've had 67 pina coladas that day. So like we ended up with a ton of alcohol left, and so we brought a couple bottles home. It was like still paying residuals on that trip. So
Yeah. I mean, why not?
yeah.
How's your liver feel?
It's not ideal, but I mean, I was riding the drink train before I went to Mexico, so it's not like drinking is a new party for me.
No.
So but I will say it opened up my world a little bit. We were drinking in Mexico these icebergs they're called, which is basically just half of a Dos Equis, half of a frozen margarita, and the frozen margarita like floats on top of the beer. And I'll tell you, that was special. And I will continue to make those for myself as I go into the rest of my life because that was awesome.
Yeah, I've heard of those. I've never heard it called an iceberg. I don't
Yeah.
remember what I've heard it called as, but yeah, that's
Bud Light Lime is what my wife was joking about. She's like, "You're drinking Bud Light Limes basically right now." I'm like, "Okay, you're not wrong. That's fair, but it is significantly more delicious." So
well when you get it right from the source, right?
Yeah,
It's
right.
probably like Guinness. Corona from Mexico is probably better than Corona
That's
imported.
what I have to assume, unless like for some reason they ship it to like Denver, Colorado for bottling, and then it gets bottled and sent back down to Mexico. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't understand how this stuff
For all I
works,
know,
but
Corona's like brewed in like Colorado. For
yeah,
all I
it
know.
could be a German beer. Who
Uh huh.
even knows,
Yeah.
really?
I'll have to look that up after the show. No, I want to know where Corona's made.
Yeah, that's funny. But yeah, so now I just want to try all the beers, like buy a Stella and put a frozen margarita on top of it, and just see what happens.
That
I'm gonna get
sounds
crazy
like a
with it.
journey in. Like, I wonder if that works for other like slushy drinks, like margarita. Uh, crap. What's the other?
Strawberry
Like
daiquiris.
the strawberry daiquiri. Yeah.
That's. I mean, I'm not gonna banana my beer, but I'll try most things. So
All right, got it. No sticking bananas in beer.
no banana beer.
Hey, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab some coffee.
All right, I got my coffee already, so I'll
All right,
just talk to the fine people in the world.
you do that.
Good morning, Twitch Nation. What's going on? This is your boy, Ryan Kukta, holding it down with Tom Norman today. Living the life, making it happen. Boomtown, get 'em. What do you want to talk about today? You want to talk about the Brewers? They're holding their own against some tough competition this weekend. I do want to get back to beating the Cardinals again. I think we need to see them again later this year when we're at full strength. Got most of our guys back in. But I will say, go back a month, I was a little more excited about the season. So they've had a couple injuries, and those guys have really cost them some wins. So we'll see how that works out. But don't give up on my boys yet. The Brew Crew took out these new fantastic uniforms over the weekend. Oh, I am in love with the powder blue. Just looking great. So there's a lot of exciting things coming down. So stay tuned. Any suggestions on topics for discussion? Make sure put that information in the chat as we go forward. Um, any anything you want to bring up? I'm gonna try to stay non-political today. If you want some of that conversation, you'll be able to find it on social media today. But I'm gonna try to stay away from that angle. And then, of course, we're going to be talking a little bit today, just Dungeons and Dragons in general. Crixus has to level up, so we're going to talk a little bit through that. Um, Tom was really excited about the Kenobi season finale, so um, I have some thoughts, and I'm going to share those thoughts. Outside of that, if you have any topics that you think would be good to walk through today, let's do just that.
What'd I miss?
There's a naked little person that ran onto the screen. Um, Very confusing. No, I'm just kidding. Nothing. You didn't miss anything. I was talking to the people for a while.
Did they talk back?
No, actually, it was just me talking to myself. So it's just another day.
Should probably clear our chat bot if I didn't do that already. You gotta get some fancy show titles in here today.
Oh, just as a heads up, if you hear any screaming in the background, that's normal. My house is full of girls, as my daughter had a sleepover last night. So.
Is that why you're in a different room?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I give them the big room, which really makes sense because otherwise they would just be running occasionally into the big room, and it would be a real thing. So. But, I mean, if you don't give her something fun to do occasionally, my daughter's one that she'll make a ruckus. So.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I don't have kids. Throw them outside. I don't know.
That used to work, and now they just ask if they can take their $300 tablets outside, and then that's a whole different discussion. So,
That's a hard pass.
yeah, if you look outside right now, my son has like Nerf guns and plastic ninja swords laying in the lawn. Like, this is kind of our life. So,
Yeah, that sounds like fun though.
yeah. And then I forgot to tell you, my luggage didn't make it back from Mexico until the next day. So we were hanging out at the airport for a while. That was a real bummer.
The last thing you want to do is sit at the airport for like an hour and a half after you get home.
Right. It was, well, I mean, so we fly into Appleton on a Saturday afternoon, and there's like 3 people in the airport because it's late afternoon. There's like one more flight coming in, but no more flights going out. So at 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 this point, we're just basically like, it's us, one counter manager, and then the guy that unloaded our bags. And so we're trying to like track down our bag. Well, good luck finding like a real expert at like using the United system to try to figure out where our bag is. So it was mostly just trying to find the right person who can actually help us.
Mm.
But it all worked out.
Nice. All right, you ready for show proper?
Yeah, I mean, I've been properly showing, so.
From the waist down.
Let's make it happen.
Good morning, everybody. We are Two Nerds One Quest. Well, we are half of Two Nerds One Quest. We're half a nerd, half a quest.
I mean, to be fair, we are 2 nerds and in the midst of a quest. So
That is actually, yeah. The title actually makes sense today. The title hasn't made sense probably since like session. When did you come in? 30 or 40?
although I like it, so there's no reason to change it.
Oh,
I mean, it really is your and John's baby, and I'm just gonna hold it for a while and change the diaper. So
that's why we pay you the big bucks.
yeah.
That voice.
Wait
you're
a
hearing,
second. I'm supposed to be getting paid?
Hey, anyway, that voice you're hearing right now is one Ryan Crazy Kooch. Kukta, how's it going, buddy?
Boots on, fantastic. Living a fantastic summertime life. So
Yeah, if you happen to see him a little darker, a little more suntanned, just got back from fantastic vacation.
yeah, living the life in Mexico. How did that go? While I was gone, what kind of show did you guys do? Did you do one? I didn't even get caught up yet.
We did not do a show because...
Got it.
Where was I?
I don't know. You're a big deal too, so who knows?
I wouldn't go that far. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. What matters is this. So we have some topics we're going to talk about today. We're not going to do any well, I shouldn't say we're not going to do D&D stuff because we're going to talk about our characters a little bit. But we're not actually going to have story proper because A, I can't prep for our proper show, and B, I was too lazy to actually set up a single person scenario. The I don't think I'm that talented to run a one man scenario. So
Well, I don't know.
maybe next time.
Don't cut yourself short. That little one shot was pretty fun the other day. So
Yeah, I mean it was a good time doing it. I just I don't know how well I could scale uh, something for one person without actually killing you in the first 5 minutes.
that's fair. Well, just give me a submachine gun or something unexpected, and I'll hold my own.
Yeah, I'll give you unlimited hellish rebukes with 10d8, and we'll call it a day.
Now you're speaking my language.
Speaking of hellish rebuke, I was looking at that spell, and just the sheer number of dice as you get leveled up, I'm like, I I am in awe. Like that should be my reaction every single time I get hit.
Yeah, I mean, I think, especially considering it just triggers when you get hit, so it doesn't take a turn or anything. It's really fun, really strong, and I like to play tieflings a lot, for whatever reason. Like, I find the character concept like basically a demon that's not necessarily bad, not necessarily good, just kind of like has an interesting backstory that got him here is pretty fun to establish. So I don't know. I like tieflings as a concept, so
I mean,
I get a lot of
there's no
hellish rebukes off.
there's no king shaming here. You know, we allow you to like whatever you like.
For sure.
So why don't you tell me a little bit? Do you have a little bit of a backstory about Crixus? Like I know you said some stuff way back when we started Two Nerds, when we
Yeah.
brought you in. Uh, why don't you can you expand on who he is? She, he, she, it.
Yeah, so he goes by he and him. He is not they or them, but he will um so if I go in my head, and I don't know how much of this I've put out there, how much has just been crafted in my brain, but effectively, Crixus was um, part of a tiefling family, like part of a group of kind of nomads, but they were hunted by individuals who just, look at tieflings and thought, oh, they're ugly, they're horrible. We need to wipe them off the face of the planet. So, he was so Crixus was basically his family was attacked. Their encampment was burned to the ground, and Crixus was kind of left as the sole survivor. So, so then Crixus was kind of wandering around trying to find a place to live, and he met a bunch of elves. And let me just bring up some of the details here so I don't get it completely wrong. But so Crixus, he found again some elves that followed Suni, which is like the god of beauty, basically. And so him as a tiefling, like, stood opposed to that, like, not a beautiful creature, in most people's eyes, kind of uh, you know, kind of an ugly being, with the horns and kind of just looking the way that he looks. So, effectively, the followers of Sunni are originally kind of abusing him, but after a while, he endeared himself to them and found that he did have a beautiful singing voice, and so from that perspective, they found beauty in him and in his character, and so he became kind of an important person in that Sunni group, even though he completely didn't fit in. He was a very helpful individual, but after a while, he found that as the as his life went forward, of course, he continues to just not really fit in entirely into that group. So effectively, they found a way to send him out into the world to try to help people and bring the teachings of Sunni to others. So effectively, that began Crixus's quest, um, out into the world where he met a couple of unique individuals and started to quest uh, with you. So
Wow, nice. So, Sunni is a clan, lack of better words, or is it?
so Sunni is a god in the Forgotten
Oh,
Realms,
Sunni's a god.
and
Okay, I gotcha.
yes, so Sunni is basically like um, it's a beautiful flowing haired woman, and she carries a whip, and so that's why oftentimes if I'm calling forth my spectral weapon, I forget what that's called, but my spiritual weapon, that's often a whip, um, as that's really kind of Crixus's um, god that still works in his life. So
I gotcha.
again, back to like the beauty, Crixus did have a beautiful singing voice, and he used to tend the flowers and things like that. So he brought a lot of beauty into the world. And so when he was sent out, that's why he started out as a cleric. He's just helping the the people of the Sunni, the tribe of elves.
Mm-hmm.
He was just helping them and constantly using his magic to heal them and help them.
Yeah, I
But
gotcha.
he did have a beautiful singing voice, and that started, once he's out in the world now, that's the beauty that he's bringing to the rest of the world is his singing voice. And that's kind of what started him starting as a cleric and then starting to pick up levels of bard as he got out into the world. So
As he should, because he has a beautiful singing voice, as does Mr. Ryan Coogda, who, I, yeah, you haven't done a song in a while.
I thought about that just the other day. I should really be designing the next hit song.
Not gonna lie,
And
we haven't had much of a chance though. I mean, we've been in this cave for about what feels like 3 months.
at least 3 or 4 months, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think Crixus would thrive if we stopped at an inn or something like that. And that's the right time to sing a song. Who you gonna sing a song to in Ythrin, right? So
I mean, I guess you could have tried to sing to the uh, what were those things that were chasing us? The gelatinous cubes. You could have tried singing to those
yeah,
things.
I mean maybe if he hits the right note, they like vibrate and explode. I'm not sure, but
Kind of like glass, where you get your voice that high up, and it just shatters.
yeah, right. So
Hold on,
um,
hold on a second. I think I gotta let the dogs out. Why don't you talk more about your character real quick?
oh sure. Yeah, so from that perspective, Crixus is um he's kind of a I would not say he's a leader, but he's been on his own and having to fend for himself, even though he has had the Sunni followers, the Elven tribe that kind of brought him in. Um, they haven't really adopted him. He was kind of a slave there, for um, lack of a better term. He was just kind of there to help them, and didn't really have rights of his own, didn't have a family of his own. He was just kind of used by them, for lack of a better term, for them to, for to heal them and to kind of work as a laborer for them. So from that perspective, he's had to be on his own. When he got connected to Ellie in the group, he was just more able to recognize the impact of people who care about each other, legitimately care about each other in a group together, versus what he experienced when he was part of the Elven tribe. So,
Awesome. Yeah, sorry about that. Dogs got a
no, no
little.
worries. So that's a little bit about Crixus, about what his kind of character motivations are. Of course, to bring a little beauty into the world, but also to have experiences that are positive and make friends, which is not something that he had until he left the Sunni camp. Is some real legitimate people that care about one another, and he believes he's found that. So.
Yeah,
But
I
it's hard. It's hard without kind of especially Ellie in the group. I think he had a kinship with her, both being clerics and both wanting to help people and feeling empathy for other people. Um, so I think he's trying to connect better with Doug.
Yeah, Doug is kind of standoffish. Like Aranon, I think between Ellie, Aranon, and Crixus, that was the core um, that they fought, but they also cared. Like Aranon was one that he seemingly didn't care about shit, but he did. He didn't like to show it, and as Ellie and Crixus adventured with him, he kind of took them in as family, I guess you would say.
Yeah,
And I don't think he ever would have acknowledged that, but
I think he probably and for better or worse, he probably would say, "Well, I don't want the family relationship that I have with these people to get in the way of my goal, which is to increase my wealth." Right? But at the end of the day, I think if he had a pile of treasure for Ellie's life, I think he would have made the right decision, and that would have been the real test of his growth as a character.
correct.
Unfortunately, he ran into some trouble and is no longer with us in body, but maybe still in spirit.
I was gonna say pour one out for Aradon. Oh, too soon.
Yeah. Are we? I would be. I'm wondering if John is ever still considering whether that the ice on Doug's shield could ever be restored as um, as we go forward here somehow. Like maybe if we actually do kill Lady Ice Kiss, how that would turn out.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I wonder. Yeah, because I mean, clearly he would have to form Aranon out of whatever was left and attached to the shield. Like, I mean, is he gonna be walking around with like a peg leg? Like, is he missing a couple ears? Like,
Or is it just like his essence needs to be poured into another creature or something like that? I don't know. It's very complex, I think, and probably John's like, well, that would be step 20, and we're on step 4. But
yeah,
at some point, I think it's certainly interesting to just keep the hope alive, right? From the perspective of everybody, they do feel like there's, as long as they're still connected to Aranon to some way, there's still a chance. But I think everybody's like, well, Aranon's dead, but you know, his soul is maybe still held in the ice on Doug's shield. I'm just not sure.
kind of sounds like a job for a necromancer, doesn't it?
Yeah, just like bring a body back and just like, all right, Aranon, just hop in.
Yeah, just kind of bang the shield on a dead body a couple times, kind of like shake Aranon off. Get in there.
Right. I will say the adventure's been cool from the standpoint of like John taking actual other adventures and things like that and kind of integrating them into our quest. But our quest overall is still unique, if that makes sense. We're not just a group of characters, it's an amalgamation of different
Yeah,
quests that John's found. So that makes it fun.
Yeah, it's not just a straightforward from the book um, adventure. It's it seems like he's really put a good touch on it. Like he's really put his stamp on how he is guiding us, I guess you would say.
I think that's a little bit of John's I guess John's DM magic. From my perspective, you know, I've worked with a number of different DMs, and all have been just really amazing people. I don't think that you like go down the path of being a DM unless you give a shit about what is happening. So, but from that perspective, I think John has a unique way of taking what's in front of him and making it special, like
Mm-hmm.
making it like really unique in that way to make an emotional connection to everything as well. You know, at some point, like with um, even though he wanted to move Ellie off of the team, like okay, well we're gonna move Ellie off, but she's gonna have the bar, and then we're gonna continue to check in with her. You know, she's going to hear news from time to time and have an emotional reaction to it. It's like, we're as a group, we're connected to one another, but we're even connected to the members of our group that aren't there anymore. So, I think that's why the Yuthrin thing, although it's really interesting, feels like it's a little less emotionally exhilarating because we're kind of going through the steps, right? And so we've got to accumulate this detail on the how to create a spell or something that is going to trigger something, and I think we're done accumulating those now. I have to check with Genius who's holding that information, but at the end of the day, I think it's a little bit less like let's move into the next phase here, and we've been kind of going through Ythrin for quite a while now
Mm-hmm.
without that next phase.
Yeah. Um. I feel like this module or this section of the story is almost what's the word I'm looking for? Vital. You know what I mean? It's like, you have your main quest on like The Witcher or something that takes like 13 hours to complete, and then you have all these side quests that are like, an hour here, 5 minutes there. This
Yeah,
feels like kind of like that vital um, 13-hour story quest to
yeah,
me.
and it is. I mean,
Yeah.
it is like it is the accumulation of what we've done so far.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're in Ythrin, and we've got to figure out, okay, how do we take what's available to us here and kill a god, or effectively, you know, beat her down so that she can't come back and terrorize the humanity again of the world. So it's going to be very interesting to see what like comes out of this,
Mm-hmm.
because I'm not sure. Like, okay, now we're in Ythrin. I don't know what the next step is. Like, I don't see what that is, and maybe John sees what that is. How we get from Ythrin to um, kind of battling again. Keep calling her Lady Ice Kiss, but I don't remember what the um,
Uh,
or oral, right? Or
Rhyme of
oral.
the Oral Rhyme of the Frost Maiden.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So the Frost Maiden. So yeah. So I'm not sure how the connection is going to be made from where we are now to the kind of end game of this quest.
Yeah,
So
I agree. It's interesting because I kind of feel like once we get the 8 steps and we perform the ritual or whatever, it's almost like, okay, a portal opens up and we just go. You know, and John said he's not going to have us walk all the way back through, so that leads me to believe that we'll have to trudge our way back. At least I think that's what he
yeah, I
said,
don't.
didn't he?
He said something about that, but I just wonder. I don't know what the module says
Mm-hmm.
happens when you are done with the Yuthrin process.
My
But
guess is
from
there's
John's
like a
perspective, he's not going to have us go back through the cave
no.
system, right?
That would be
So
like another frickin' 8 weeks of.
yeah, I
Although
mean
we,
the only positive there would be to get one of those pairs, right? I mean, to get another one of the pairs to see what kind of
yeah,
special abilities. I'm pretty sure Crixus still has a Call Lightning that he's going to hold in his back pocket for a while. And we have several Fireball beads,
oh,
which
man,
is going to be really awesome.
that is gonna be death from above when we reach Oral, unless we need it ahead of
Yeah.
time.
So I'm really excited about that. Like that was a big get. I guarantee it that's going to come into play big time.
Yeah, and I got Vicious Mockery left.
Mm. Vicious Mockery. I don't. I've never actually used that spell in real in D&D. So
Yeah, I've only heard it on the dungeon run, and it's very funny there because uh, uh, I think it's like a younger girl character is using it, so it's like the mockery is like very much not mockery. It's like your mom smells funny. Uh, Elquin says we should make the city fly. Yeah, I mean
I like it. I think it's a good idea. Like, is there a way we can return Ythrin like
to the
back to where
sky.
it came from? Yeah,
That would be.
I'm not sure.
I mean, that actually kind of makes sense. Doesn't? I mean, it would be tough to do since it's in a cave. Like it would. Yeah, I don't know. That would be interesting.
I mean, yeah, think about it. Like, so if Ythrin returns to the sky and Oral sees it and she's like, "I'm gonna take Ythrin," and then we battle Oral in Ythrin. That seems interesting. I'm not sure that that it's where John's going. I can't really say where John's going with the story. So, um, but I think there's a lot of interesting, I guess, opportunities here for stories.
Yeah, I agree. The storyline is kind of like a giant cloud that kind of dissipates as we go through. You know, as we were
Hmm.
going in some of the earlier stuff, you could kind of see where we were headed. You know, we always had some kind of major goal that even with the side quests, we always had some kind of major goal that we were going through. Um, but right now, our major goal is just that it's one goal, and there's nothing. I mean, other than finding Oral, there's nothing after. So it's interesting. It's very interesting, and the flying city would be almost like a spectacle for the rest of that region because it would be. I mean, you would see it for miles and miles and miles around this giant city floating up from the ground.
Yeah. I mean, we've done a lot of cool things in Ythrin. Um, but I think oh, by the way, do you still have that little fish guy? The little fish
Yeah,
rat?
yeah. Gil.
Yeah. We got to figure out what we can do with him. He seems real fun. But yeah, so we've got to figure out kind of what the next step is really to engage Oral cuz I feel like we're pretty strong right now. We've got a lot of cool stuff. Again, the fireball beads and stuff like that. We could really hold our own as long as I just wish Crixus had a little more in hit points. It seems like a good punch in the mouth really knocks him down a little bit. So most of the I don't know if you've noticed that most of like the features and stuff like that I've been picking up lately give some temporary hit points or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
there's that bard thing where um, I use one of my I forget what they're called, but effectively I create a distraction in which we can move around and get some temporary hit points. So that's been a major goal for Crixus, I guess.
Which brings us to my next question is what'd you do for leveling up What was your options?
Yeah, good question. So, unfortunately, I'm pot committed to Bard right now. I'm really trying to make decisions on a story basis as opposed to what I'd want to do. I compared both cleric and bard. I'm still at level 9 right now, so I've got to finalize my decisions as I think we're going to be level 10. But I've decided that I'm going to go with bard. And I don't think that's the stronger of the two options, but it gives me, let's see, I'll bring up the chart here. So the cleric, if I level up a cleric level, there's really nothing good that happens. But down the road, there's some really powerful spells that I'm kind of giving up because Crixus again is just he's kind of done with being a cleric and he's really into being a bard. So I want to follow the storyline there. So what I get at level 4 of Bard is just two ability score improvements, and I think I'm gonna sync them both into Charisma. So
Nice.
that'll bring my Charisma score to 18, my bonus to a +4, and that is gonna impact a lot of the spells. So
We're gonna be quite the charismatic group. My charisma's an 18 right now as well.
yeah, and I think that's important for for us as a team. Um, I'd considered quite a bit. What if I just put that into Constitution or something like that and try to raise my hit points a little bit? But as I think, what does Crixus need? He needs to be a little more outgoing if he wants to be a successful bard. So,
Yeah. What do you have for
um,
hit points currently?
57 is my
Oh,
total. Once I go up a level, I'm not sure. I think it'll be 63. Take a look here.
yeah. I'm up to 83 right now. I leveled up.
Yeah, and I've got really good AC. I've got a 19 base AC, so that's really strong.
Well, plus that, and
Um,
I have my spell, which I give an extra +2 AC, which really seems to help you.
yeah, big time. So anytime that you're giving me that shield of faith, um, is really powerful, and that 21 armor class is awesome. I just think Oral is definitely going to be hitting, in the mid 20s,
Mm-hmm.
and if she takes, 35 hit points away, that's better than half. So
Yeah.
I just have to keep some of my spells um, for healing and things like that. But so yeah, if I sync both of my ability score improvements into charisma, um, my constitution's only 12, so there is an opportunity there that I could use them both constitution instead, but I just don't think that's what Crixus would do.
Yeah.
And so I'm kind of going along with he needs to be a little bit more outgoing, needs to be a little bit more of a leader, and so I think he's going to try to raise that charisma. So
Nice. Yeah. So Doug, I, um, I am 9 levels of paladin and 1 level of uh, warlock. So I am fully invested in that paladin tree, mainly because the warlock was just a because I kind of talked about it back when Doug came in that the warlock was a one-time pact, um, and now I am paladin trying to work that off, trying to make amends, dedicating my life to writing that, because the warlock part of it is just it's not good. The warlock was vengeance, and the warlock was something that he needed at the time. But now he's dedicating his life to fighting for the little guy. And speaking of little guy, it's funny because I made my Aarakocra like really big, and apparently Aarakocra, after I looked it up, are like small. They're like 5 feet tall. And my guy's
Small
like
little ninja guys.
yeah, my guy's like 6'2" or some shit.
But that makes sense why you're a paladin, right? As
Yeah.
opposed to like a monk.
Yeah. So, basically that there is that. So I never mentioned that from, the time I came in cuz I think it was like the day after we had our show. I was kind of looking stuff up. I'm like, "Oh, well, shit." But, you know, for every, you know, small person, there's always one giant person that breaks the rule.
But I think that's a cool thing. There's a uniqueness there of a giant bird warrior,
Mm-hmm.
right? And so the rest of the birds, they might be little ninjas and stuff like that flying around. Well, you know, your guy's like I'm the big one, so I'm gonna put on a big sword and maybe a shield sometimes, and I'm gonna defend the righteous, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm 7 feet, 350 pounds.
You're
I
a
am,
monster.
I am huge.
That is a big bird. 350 pounds? Yeah,
I
boy.
yeah. I guess I haven't looked at that since I created it, but that's I am a. That's why I have such high intimidation as well. That's one of the things I put in is because I was so big. I made sure that I was able to intimidate, which clearly didn't work last session. But
Well, that's like strapping a jetpack to my fat. It takes a lot to get me off the ground.
yeah, my wings are really beefy to carry me around. Yeah, Eloquent, I
That's
am a
funny.
freak in nature. It's tough. My stealth is probably really low. How do you hide a 7 foot, 350 pound bird?
You're the Shaquille O'Neal of birds. It's awesome.
So I did take. I got a bunch of spells. I'm up to level 3 spells now, which is really cool.
Yeah.
So I picked Blinding Smite, which is really nice. That's the next time you hit a creature with a melee weapon attack during the spell's duration, your weapon flares with a bright light, and the attack deals an extra 3d8 radiant damage. Additionally, the target must succeed on a Constitution saving throw or be blinded. And then they're blinded for a minute, and then on each turn they, do the Constitution saving to see if they're still blind.
So blinding, does that make disadvantage on attacks?
Creature blinded by the spell makes another Constitution saving. I mean, blind. I would assume blind would be at disadvantage. That would be like a. That would be a condition, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So, let's see. Blind in 5e can't see and automatically fails any ability check requiring sight. Attack rolls against the creature have advantage, and their attack rolls have disadvantage.
Okay. Yeah. So that's
So that's actually really powerful if we get advantage against that creature.
yeah.
Exceptionally powerful.
Yeah, I dropped my one of my other smites, I think, in order to grab that one.
Yeah.
I mean,
I love
the issue is when you have a level 3 spell, it's not available at level 1 or 2, which kind of sucks.
Sure.
But so I also got protection from energy, which is for the duration the willing creature you touch has resistance to one damage type of your choice: acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder.
Oh, that would be really powerful against Oral, right? You know
Yep.
she's gonna use some ice spells.
Yep. That's concentration up to an hour. So that's a nice long one. However, it's concentration, so I can't use any other concentration spells, which like 3/4 of my spells are concentration. So
Yeah, I mean that's one of those you got to pick the best situation for that
mm-hmm.
that spell. Like if you're going up against Oral 1-on-1, you're gonna want to have that protection from ice, which is something that Crixus has, that cold resistance. And so I'm excited for that combat. I think it'll be an interesting battle.
Yeah, I agree.
Given like your aerial tactics and Crixus, feeling pretty pissed off about Aranon and everything like that. Just I think there's going to be a lot of emotion in that combat if we get there.
I
So,
agree. And then the final spell I have is remove curse.
oh, okay, perfect. We got to have that sometimes.
Apparently, we need that with both Genius and with Valine.
Yeah, he's Genius is still afflicted. I think
And Valine is too.
Crixus has. Yeah, I have something, but I'm not sure. It's not a paranoia.
Do you, though?
Let's see. Yeah, I do still. Let me just bring that up here.
Because, I mean, I can't use it until I recognize that
I
they.
have disadvantage on wisdom and charisma saving, which hasn't come up. I don't know how often you need a charisma saving throw, but wisdom saving throw would come up against more powerful creatures. Just 1 second.
Yeah, so that's interesting. I don't remember when Crixus got that. But I have to remember also that I can't just randomly start using remove curse on people just hoping to get rid of a curse. I have to recognize that they have a curse. And right now, I don't think
Yeah,
anybody recognizes that Valine is scared out of her pants. And
I don't know. I do feel like we would know that Valine's kind of
she's been
like
skittish,
peeking around corners, skittish. Yeah,
but she hasn't like she's paranoid, So
yeah.
she hasn't said or done anything that's been like you know jumping at a shadow more or less. It's been
Yeah.
and then
You really
Genius,
have to. Oh, go ahead.
Genius with his dice rolling, I think we once he makes a decision that is not something that is right, we'll have to question that.
Yep.
And I don't think he's done that yet.
Yeah, I mean it's the decision trees that has quote unquote failed on are not important things.
No.
But if he chooses to push one of our team members into a difficult situation, you got to be like, what the, you know,
Yeah.
and then we can start to identify it. I mean, especially with Valine, all it would take is for us to ask, like, Valine, is this you're kind of acting paranoid? Is this normal for you? And have her just maybe ask, oh, it feels normal, but yeah, I guess I agree. It's a little odd for me, and I don't care as long as she can lob some magic missiles from the back. That seems like a big win for us anyway.
Yeah, yeah. She doesn't have to fight up close. If she's paranoid, she can shoot bolts from around the corners, as far as I'm concerned. But
Yeah, for
yeah,
sure.
I'm pretty sure we'll figure out Valine sooner than we figure out Genius.
Yep, that makes sense. But yeah, I
Yeah,
don't know. I think we've got some real cool abilities. We've got some real cool things going on, and we've really have all the pieces in place. Now we just have to figure out what we need to do with them in Ythrin and solve these problems. So
I gotta say I am disappointed though. John said that we were gonna be finding a lot of magical items in Ythrin, and we haven't found dick.
I don't know, like the things that are happening are cool. Like if you think about the goblet, it
Yeah.
gave us all an extra spell. The let's see, the I have a crow's foot pendant and I'm not sure what it does. Maybe it does nothing, or maybe it's really powerful. I don't know. You have the uh necklace of fireballs or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
which is gonna be amazing.
I suppose we
Um,
did get those cloaks as well.
yep, and the cloaks definitely is helpful. But at the end of the day, yeah, I agree. We haven't found like anything really powerful, like a wand of something crazy, or you know, a staff of power or something like that. That would be bonkers. And I'm not sure if, we have, because we're going through every building, right? So it's not like we haven't
Kind of.
seen the opportunity.
Yeah, I think there's probably a couple we haven't gone through yet, um,
Hmm.
but we're getting there.
Yep.
Cool. Well, I think that's going to do it for D&D. I think we kind of wanted to talk about Kenobi. Did you finish it?
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so this is going
Yep.
to be for anybody in chat. This is going to be some spoiler action. Um, so don't say we didn't warn you. Also, Darth Vader dies at the end.
Ah, what?
Oh,
The Darth Vader in the next thing is somebody else.
yeah,
Oh,
yeah. Darth Vader in Episode 4 is his twin brother. Yeah, there was triplets. Triplets. Yeah, that's it.
spelled differently. There's an extra Y in
Yeah, Darth Vadery.
it. Yeah. So I don't think we've talked a ton about the series as a whole, besides saying like, I think this is cool. I thought that it added a ton of really cool stuff to everything that you like believe in, right? So it
Mm-hmm.
it added like a layer to Luke Skywalker, to Leia, to Obi-Wan, to Darth Vader's character, right? I mean, why is Darth Vader so mad? Well, he keeps getting beat by Obi-Wan, for Christ's sake. So he keeps getting more and more pissed off over the course of, everything that's going on. So I just it added a layer to everything, which is what you want. If there's a prequel, you just don't want it to like fit in. You want it to like enhance the world, right?
Yeah.
Now I understand what makes Princess Leia so special is because she's a special kid, because she grows up with this particular determination that started when she was a child, and she's a unique individual. She's not just a girl who's you know who's
She
pretty
did.
headstrong.
Yeah, she needed saving, but she needed saving because she was a child, not because she was incapable of protecting herself because she wasn't strong enough.
Yep, you
She
got
was,
it right there.
yeah,
Hmm.
she was very much probably one of the strongest characters in the entire series.
Yeah, and it's very cool though the way that they, just build everybody up,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that's really awesome, um, from that perspective, because that's what I want those prequels to do. I don't just want. I'll be honest. The ending of the Mandalorian was disappointing to me when Cad Bane got shot. Another spoiler.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's frustrating to me because I think that character's freaking cool. And like he's just a side note in the Mandalorian. So, and his maybe his journey's at an end now because of the way that his character was presented. And so that's like, why just bring up a cool character from the lore of Star Wars just as a like, oh, okay, well he's dead now. That sucks, I think, and doesn't help to enhance the world. It helps to like, okay, now Cad Bane's timeline ends there. It's like, well, I'm not a fan of that, but um, I
Yeah,
don't know. I'm probably not enough of a Star Wars nerd to care that much, but I'm enough of a nerd where I just want more. Um,
yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in the exact same situation. Like, I like Kenobi was awesome. Loved it. I thought the character progression. Uh, I loved the integration of the Inquisitors and the Third Sister, and like basically taking Jedi Fallen Order and sticking it into Kenobi. I mean, is
yeah,
essentially what they did, and I loved Fallen Order. I loved that game. That was awesome, and I loved the idea of the
I
Third
haven't played it.
Sisters. Oh my god, oh,
Yeah, I haven't played it.
oh,
So
you have to. It is an open world, fun Star Wars adventure. It's really good.
that sounds awesome.
Yeah,
I'd
it
be
is.
into it.
It's available on pretty much anything you want. So get you have to get it.
I still have a PlayStation 4, So
Yes, you can get it on that.
I'll have to check it out on there.
Um, but anyway, going back to it, like the Inquisitors and the Third Sister, and the the what I loved most about Kenobi, and I'm like jazz handsing it. I'm not sure why.
I love it.
uh, I think what I loved most about the the entire series is that Darth Vader is not just a stiff one note character like he is in 4, 5, and 6. You know, he's got much more movement, much more agility, much more um, e- emotion. If you can get emotion from a guy wearing a mask, um, like the lightsaber duels. So I initially thought the lightsaber duel between the Third Sister and Darth Vader was the best until we got to the final episode and the lightsaber battle between Darth Vader and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like that whole battle was amazing. But when you
Yeah.
see him fighting the Third Sister, you see kind of what you saw from Rogue One at the end, where he's just walking down and he's banging people into the ceiling and he's lightsabering, he's whipping people left and right. Well, in this, you actually get to see Darth Vader be a real Sith Lord. You know, he's stopping a lightsaber inches from his hand, and the Force pushing. I thought the use of the Force powers in this series also was unique because you don't see that. You don't see that in the movies at all. You don't get a lot of Force pushing. You don't get him, you know, stopping a lightsaber with his hand. You don't get a lot. Yeah, when Yoda was fighting in episode, I don't remember, was it the Clone Wars or Revenge of the, I don't remember which one it was. When he's dodging all that stuff that's flying at him. Um, you get some of that in the movies, but in this entire series, you're getting a lot more force power. You're getting a lot more battle. Like Obi-Wan Kenobi lifting all those rocks up and just flinging them at Darth Vader was,
Yeah.
we haven't gotten that before. And Darth Vader using, he had his hand up and he was getting pelted with rocks, but he was also, it looked like a force shield. You know, otherwise with
Well,
all
it'd
that,
have to be, right? I mean,
yeah.
if you think about it, like even that, especially knowing that he doesn't really have an arm back there, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
I think what's really interesting about the whole, um, about that whole last couple episodes, even I would say, is that you do get a sense that Darth Vader isn't the finished Darth Vader, right? I mean, he is still learning. He's still, taking his hatred out on people, but the hatred isn't even fully complete yet. Like he's using the third sister, but he wasn't like he was didn't use her in like the perfect way. He's still trying to figure out how to manipulate people. It's really some of the really cool stuff
Mm-hmm.
that you kind of want out of a like even Darth Vader isn't the perfect evil Darth Vader. He's learning how to be evil. He's learning how to manipulate people. It's really that cool progression that you want out of these characters. And from my perspective, Obi-Wan was a one note guy, and you kind of always ask like what's special about Obi-Wan, and then okay, they give me the prequels and okay, this is what's special about him. No, he continues to be special.
Mm-hmm.
There's 20 years in here where we've got to made him special to the world of Star Wars, and there's a lot of opportunity there that you don't want to miss.
Yeah.
So they're doing a great job in filling
Mm-hmm.
out the relationship between what's now Darth Vader and Obi-Wan, and that part of it is really cool to me. Um, and the correlations between um, that what's happening now and then what happening in the Star Wars, the Skywalker saga and stuff like that in the next few. I think we get how it all fits in, and
Uh-huh.
it's pretty
Uh-huh.
fun, and that they still keep it fun and strong. Um, so I think from my perspective, it was just really well done. And especially like you said with the Force stuff, as the technology gets better and better, it doesn't look silly when there's a
Hmm.
bunch of rocks floating behind Obi-Wan. It feels powerful. And that's the difference between where the technology is right now. You can see Obi-Wan and you can feel like he is controlling rocks behind him, as opposed to just kind of the technology wouldn't have been there in 4, 5, and 6. It kind of looks maybe silly that the rock is flying from this angle and that angle.
Yeah.
And that's what's cool about technology now in shows and movies. They could put anything in. You could be riding a lion and it totally looks realistic. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So
Yeah, I agree. It's and thinking back on it, the progression of Obi-Wan from where he was at the end of episode 3 to where he starts with literally zero force powers in episode in Kenobi. He essentially did what Luke Skywalker did, or what Luke did. He blocked himself off from the Force, and he had to learn and get his powers back. And by the time he has his final battle with Darth Vader, he is that what you picture somebody with Force powers, full Jedi, uh, you know whatever the highest tier is. you know, you see him lifting up his arms, kind of like what you picture somebody with power doing. You lift up your arms and everything floats behind you.
all of it, right? Not just the
Everything.
one thing,
Yeah.
all of it.
Yeah.
I'm putting all of it into the attack.
Yeah. And that progression from I don't deserve it to I let everybody down and then Leia helping to build him back up. I think was an amazing just an amazing story in and of itself.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's again. I think I've probably said this maybe on one of our podcasts before, but there's a huge difference between a superhero movie telling a story about superheroes and a superhero movie telling a story about the humanity of superheroes,
Mm-hmm.
about what it takes to be a person, what it takes to make decisions. Like, so especially like the Star Wars stuff, you can get lost a little bit in the like, oh, they just can do that because they have superpowers. But okay, well, why are they making the decisions that they're making? Because
Mm-hmm.
there's a human element to it, right? And if you can't get that home, it's just a superhero story, and nobody wants to see that. I mean, nobody just wants to see a story on screen about, hey, we could do it technologically, so we just did it, right? That kind of
Well, and
that's
that's the
missing the boat.
difference between the superhero and the supervillain. The
Yeah,
superhero uses their powers when they have to. The supervillain uses their powers because they can. And
yeah,
so you get people like Superman who could literally destroy the earth at will, but he doesn't because he doesn't, that's not who he is. He's a good person. So why would he? When people say, well, Superman, he's too powerful. Well, yeah, but even against the bad guys, he's not destroying them like he should because he doesn't kill people. It's like Batman. Batman doesn't kill people. You know,
but
it's
it's struggling with the human decision of that, right?
mm-hmm.
If the new Batman movie is a really cool example, like of this concept of the humanity of it, right? It's not just a Batman movie, right? Where okay, he vanquished the evil at the it's Batman as a human learning that you can't just express violence against the bad guy and expect you'll be able to stamp out the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
The more violence you pour into it, the more violent they become. And the more, hatred you put into battling them, the more hatred they're going to put into the evil that they're doing. So that's kind of the way the new Batman movie, like at the end, Batman's like, well, the way for city is to help the people of the city, is not to just keep punching these guys.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's a really cool part at the end where he's like, kind of realizing that they're saying the same things back to him that he's saying to the bad guys as he's punching them. And at the end of the day, that's a human element to it, and you've got to add the human element super.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing that superheroes, especially like Batman, they pour all the hate and the ultra violence into fighting crime. They don't balance that with actually being human. They lose themselves into that. And you see that with
Yeah.
Batman because he's completely abandoned essentially Bruce Wayne to go out every night, whoop a whole bunch of ass, and essentially just feed his hate. It's almost like the Anakin turning into Darth Vader, bringing it back to Star Wars.
Right.
Whereas Batman stays Anakin, Anakin goes full dark side. Like he just succumbs to that hate against what he fears and what he hates the most. He just gives into it
Mm-hmm.
versus Batman who, ultimately pulls himself back.
Yeah, very, very fun. It's a very fun series though, and the way that they ended it was splashy, was like eye catching, was
Yep.
really awesome. Now, I heard that there's for sure going to be a season 2, and I'm just wondering to myself, is like Luke and Leia going to be involved here? Are we going to get something fresh? Um, and I'll just be very interested in seeing how that works out.
Yeah, I did not hear about season 2. I was just literally going to ask you, season 2, yes or no? Do you want to see it? I'm on the fence. I think if they ended it right now, I would be completely happy because then this is a good progression into episode 4. However, you know, Kenobi has his powers back. It's a good 14 years before, I don't remember what age they said Luke and Leia are at this point, but you're looking at 14 years because I think they were like 18, 19, 20 in episode 4. What happens in the 14 years? Obviously, maybe it's behind the scenes. We get maybe a battle of some sort where, you don't see a whole lot of Luke and Leia, but you see Kenobi like being a shield or a wall against that farm where he is basically stopping things before they get there, whether it's bounty hunters or it's more dark.
This is what I'll say. I need more Grand Inquisitor.
Yes.
Like one of my favorite characters from like the Star Wars, the Clone Wars, the Rebels, stuff like that. But I need to see more live action Grand Inquisitor. I need to see more hunting down Jedis. I need to see a little bit more of that. There's so much opportunity there for some cool moments, and I'm hoping that that's a route that they go. That someone else needs Obi-Wan's help, and it's related to the continual hunting of the Grand Inquisitor against the Jedi. So I don't know enough about the lore to know if our current Grand Inquisitor from the movie, which I thought they did an awesome casting job. I thought the guy looked exactly like the cartoon looked exactly
Yeah.
like what my vision of him would be. But again, I feel like that character is so cool that you've got a lot more opportunity to. It's that Darth Vader is such a cool bad guy, so a good guy going against Darth Vader is going to be cool. You've got a really cool character in the Grand Inquisitor. I want Obi-Wan to continue to battle with him, and protect Jedis across the galaxies.
I would be okay, and actually I would find this really, really fun. If it was a Darth Vader Kenobi kind of, they call it Kenobi, they call it Obi-Wan or whatever, but it's like a split 50-50 where Darth Vader is mentoring an apprentice, and he sends that apprentice after Kenobi.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Because, I mean, clearly Darth Vader is that's his job. That's his focus. So to
Right.
not have 14 years of, you know, Darth Vader just biding his time doesn't make sense. He would immediately go after him again and try to find him again.
Yeah.
So, having
Well, I
some
think that's. Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
no, I was gonna say so having some, the Inquisitors, yes, having the Inquisitors going after him more, but also having that scary second in command to Darth Vader. And I know there's only two Sith, so there's Palpatine and then there's Darth Vader. But technically, an apprentice wouldn't be a Sith Lord. So go ahead. No, what were you gonna say?
Um, I guess I was just gonna say, I think as we look at the Inquisitors and stuff like that, I really do want it to be a unique story, something completely different. Um, and I don't want it to continue to go back to, well, we need Leia in there because her character was so popular. Like I kind of want to go somewhere else with it. And I think they will do something like that, but um, constantly introducing some more unique characters to the Star Wars world is just going to help. So anyway,
Yeah,
good
no,
good
I agree.
ideas.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely need more
I,
Inquisitors and stuff.
I forgot there is a group. I forget what they're called. The Night Sisters. I'm trying to look it up here.
Oh,
That they didn't really. They only commented on a couple times, and I believe that in the cartoons, the Night Sisters and Darth Maul have a couple like interactions. I would love for there to be live action Night because I think that's a really um, cool part of the Star Wars lore that never really got explored.
yeah. So the Night Sisters, that sounded familiar. They are also in Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, really?
Uh huh.
I need to play this game then, is what I hear you say.
Yeah. Yeah. Um.
That's a good idea.
Yeah. It's really cool. It's dope. It's fun.
So Jedi Fallen Order is the
Yeah.
way to go.
It is. It is. You'll start playing, and you'll be like, "Where was this day one in my life?"
All right, yeah. So it's obviously gonna give me all the joy I need. Well, maybe I don't want another season of Obi-Wan. Maybe I just need another Jedi Fallen Order game then.
I mean, maybe. Uh, I hope they do come out with another Fallen Order style game. I love the open world Star Wars stuff. Like I know they're coming out with a new KOTOR, Knights of the Old Republic. Based,
Yeah.
I think it's not a remake, but it like based kind of like the same style as KOTOR 1 and 2, which would be awesome. So those games are dope. Um,
Yeah, I definitely like the Star Wars games. I've played a couple. We even got the Star Wars Lego one, which isn't as good as I wanted it to be, but it's still fun.
not really. I thought about playing
Just-
those. I have the Lego Batman on my computer, uh, and I haven't really delved into those. But the Star Wars ones, I kind of they had the Skywalker saga on sale on Epic Store a while ago. I was like, but I didn't.
It's fun. It is. They did a good job with it. It's silly, which is the fun part of it. I just wish there was a little more
Oh, really?
meant a little bit more when you're going. It kind of feels like you're just kind of going through the levels until you get to the boss battles. It's like I just wanna. I don't know. I kind of want like a progression system. It's funny because like I'm basically asking that they take and making it a little more geared towards the way I play it versus what it was intended. It's intended to be like a game that is mostly for kids, and then it's complex enough for adults to get value out of it. And so my son plays it, and he's not even that like jacked about it.
Yeah.
So it's not just doing what it should be for kids. So I'm just saying, make it a little more complex. Make it like a progression system where I can add abilities and like that, and suddenly, boom! Now you're hitting my sweet spot too.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. Where's the
but
Lego blood? Come on.
yeah, yeah. I need to like I need a 4,000 point ability tree so that I can like craft my own weapons like that. Like now we're talking. I want to sink 3,000 hours into what's going on. But
Funny.
I guess that's I get Xenoblade Chronicles 3, and that's for Nintendo. That's really where my wheelhouse is. So
I'll take your word for it.
yeah, it's one of these games where you could just put 300 hours into it and not be at the end guy. So
Yeah, that sounds like where I'm at with Elder Scrolls Online. I think
oh,
I have
I'm
like
sure.
50 some hours into that right now, and I'm like
But the
barely
online
scratched.
games never
No,
quit, right? I mean,
no,
those just are
they
intended to go forever,
yeah, they
right?
just keep getting expansions. I think I
Yeah.
was level like 15 or 16 before I even started on the actual storyline proper.
Sure. That's
uh,
awesome.
but all right, one last topic before we cut out of here. Music, music. This is I want to talk to you about some music stuff because we are going to go see Ghost in October, September, something like that.
Remember.
When
Yeah.
what was the last concert you went to see?
Oh man, I'm not a concert goer regularly, so my wife got me Foo Fighter tickets in Milwaukee. I think that was honestly the last like concert that I've been to.
Nice. So the
Yeah,
last
and I mean it was an awesome show, and I'll always remember it. But
I am
that was
so bummed.
maybe 4 years ago.
Yeah, we were supposed to go see the Foo Fighters in 2020. My brother-in-law and I were going to be like 20 feet off the stage in the stands. We were
I
going to be
think I
right
remember
there,
that.
and it got canceled. And now we can't see them because they're not
I
touring.
thought they were coming back, but they're not.
I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
know. I heard they're looking for a new drummer. Obviously, I don't know what their plan is. Um, yeah, I don't know. If they do come back, I will definitely go see them. Um, but the reason I brought up concerts and how often you see them is because my brother and I saw Godsmack probably about 4 years ago at the Armory in Minneapolis. We were, probably about 30 feet off stage. But the best thing I invested in is their earplugs. But they're earplugs built to let sound in. It just basically cuts
Okay.
the high decibels. They were like $30, and you could hear the music so clearly, and you could still talk. Like I could still talk to my brother right next to me while the concert was going on. And after the concert, when we left, there was no ear ringing, there was no deafness, there was no sound mulling. Uh,
Yeah.
so I'm going to be wearing these, and I'm going to remind my brother to bring his. But I would highly recommend. Can you see that?
Yeah, can you send me a link? I'll just invest in them right away. I mean, there's no reason to.
Yeah, they're like I said, they're like 30 or $35. Like I would expect something like this to be like $100, but they're, I mean, if nothing else, because we're getting old, hearing is kind of important.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you. When I went to the Foo Fighters concert, we're far enough away, right? But we're gonna be in the pit for the Ghost concert. Not that they're like, you know, huge metal, but though that's gonna be very loud. So, being that close to the what I imagine is going to be a giant speaker projected right at us, I think is going to be an important element to make sure we're protected there. So that's smart.
Yeah, I'm gonna put it in Discord right now while I'm thinking about it. But
Yeah, awesome idea. Thanks, bud.
yeah, yeah,
I
like I said,
mostly, I mean, although I love the music, and if they don't play Monsters Clock, um, I probably won't leave. Um, it, I'm mostly there for the pageantry of it. Like, I heard the show seems awesome, and when I see on YouTube some of the events and stuff like that they've done in the past, really jacked up about it. So
yeah, I just put it into Discord and I realized that I just blocked you out by going and changing my screen. There we go. Now we're back.
that's
Uh,
random.
yeah, that's funny. Um, yeah, so full disclosure, after we got the tickets, I went in and I've been watching essentially the same 3 concerts from earlier this year while I work. Every once in a while, I'll throw the concert on. So I made a playlist in Amazon Prime of the songs they've been playing, and yeah, the whole pageantry of it is awesome.
That's
I
awesome.
kind of wanted to keep it a secret because I know some bands like change up their set list from like night to night,
Hmm.
but it doesn't really seem like they are. So
Okay.
I'm kind of going into it assuming they don't switch it up in the second half of their tour. Um, you know,
Okay. I didn't realize that they kind of have like a set list, but I mean, that part doesn't necessarily matter to me.
no, because
Um,
I
cause
love all the songs that they've been playing.
yeah, I will say, like, I'm not too far into the B-sides. I kind of like you. I set up, like, I listened to all the albums. I set up a playlist for myself. Um, that's how I found, it looked like they were gonna have Spirit Box with them,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm super into Spirit Box now. But I have a playlist now that I'm listening to. It's called Ghost GFR. Get fucking ready, and I just listen to it pretty regularly. I'm pretty sure my wife, although she's like, I don't hate Ghost, I'm pretty sure she's sick of hearing the same songs over and over again. But I'm just so into it right now that it's kind of all I want to listen to.
Yeah,
So
yeah. I go between my Ghost concert playlist and just because I with Amazon Prime Music, I can just keep adding albums to my list, and then I can go into my list and I can just hit shuffle, and all the songs from that artist that I've added to my playlist or I added to my my list it'll just shuffle. So I
awesome.
think I added like 6 Ghost albums or 7 Ghost albums, and so every once in a while I'll just hit shuffle.
Mm,
But
that is a good idea.
yeah, it's gonna be fun, and I definitely think strategy wise, I mean, obviously we're gonna get there for the opening act. Obviously, the
The
only
what? Oh, go ahead.
no, I was gonna say the only band that I know nothing about is I can't think of who the second band is, but
Carcass.
Carcass. Yeah, that's
They
whatever.
do have one song that I was into, but they're not my jam. I'll say that. Like I like the metal um at times,
Mm-hmm.
but there's a limit to how much I just want somebody to yell at me. And
Yeah,
it might be different in person, right? Cuz it might be more melodic screaming into the mic. But I'll
not
tell you,
likely.
most of the songs that are like their top 10 songs are just them like straight up screaming at the mic.
Yeah,
So I'm not sure what it's going to be live, but that might not be my favorite concert,
yeah,
unless it is. I mean, unless they bring that energy and then it doesn't matter what they're saying into the phone. That energy there, right?
yeah. And I'm guessing, and that's kind of how I was before I started listening to Trivium. Is I didn't like screaming, but they do a really good job of mixing up the singing and the screaming, where it's not just all like Cannibal Corpse, like what you see at at Ace Ventura, Pet Detective,
Yeah,
Cannibal Corpse, where
yeah,
there's just like that
right.
doesn't do anything for me. The
That's funny.
the the nice mix of singing music where you can understand what they're saying, and then some screaming, and then going back and forth. Like I like that. Um, so yeah, like Spirit Box. After you mentioned them, I listened to some of their stuff and I've seen some of their concert footage. They're great. They're really good. But Carcass, man, just I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I took the afternoon off. We're just gonna rock out, right? So
Yeah, definitely. My guess is if we get there early enough, because technically a lot of people don't necessarily go there for the opening acts, so we should be able to be right up there. I would assume.
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
At
mean,
least
it
that's my
depends
goal.
on how early you get, right? You're in charge of your own destiny there.
Yeah. I think doors open usually like an hour ahead of time. So concert starts at 7. So doors probably open at 6. Um, yeah, I'm very excited.
Badass. Yeah, yeah, I can't wait. It'll be a good time. But yeah, like I said, I think as my kids get a little older, I know Grant really enjoys live music, and so it's definitely something that I'd like to do a little bit more of um, as they get a little older and we start traveling around and stuff like that. So
Definitely. Yeah, my bucket list of concerts is 9 Inch Nails at Red Rocks in Colorado.
oh yeah,
Like that is
anything at Red Rocks, right?
yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean literally anything at Red Rocks, but like 9 Inch Nails cuz they just put on just a hell of a show to begin with, or Tool, or somebody like that at Red Rocks where they have like just this grand light show, screens, just the
Yeah,
backdrop, that whole situation is my ideal. That's my dream.
yeah, yeah. I think let's see. I really don't just want um I don't really just want the music anymore. Like I kind of do want the show to go along with it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know if I've made you aware. Derek Najedlow got me plugged into In This Moment,
Mm-mm.
and it's a female rock
Yeah,
band,
I've
a female lead singer,
I've
rock
heard of them.
band,
I don't
and
think I've ever listened to them.
it's a little bit edgier, but also a little bit of screaming into the microphone from time to time. But I'll tell you, like, they do the same thing with this, like, wild show, crazy outfits. It's kind of like a female Marilyn Manson style of thing going on.
Ooh.
And I'll tell you, I'm into the music, and I think they would put it in the show too. So with them, I'm mostly looking for them to come to Milwaukee or something like that and play at the Fiserv. Something like that I'd like to go check out. So,
You don't think they'd come to the Rush?
I just don't know. I don't know how much they draw. I really have no concept of that. So
You know what's interesting is that for small venues, I guess the uh, Green Bay Distillery has a great venue for concerts. Like Fozzy, before they were huge. I think I told you about this like 4 or 5 years ago. Fozzy came to the Green Bay Distillery.
yeah, I would have loved to see that actually.
Yeah, and I didn't
Pre
know about it.
Judas.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it was pre Judas. So I could see maybe not Rush, but maybe maybe doing the Green Bay Distillery. I guess I don't know. I don't know how big they are in the grand scheme of things in the metal world. They might be big enough, just in general. I've heard of
Yeah.
them, and I'm sure I've heard their music, but that's one I'll have to
I
look
don't
up.
think Yeah, I don't think they're that big. I just wonder if they would play at a venue like the Resh. Um,
I mean, they could be an opening band too. I mean, they could very well open
Yep.
next time like somebody large comes through town. Kind of
I
like
would
what
think Godsmack would be like a good, like, kind of music. You know what I mean? So they
Yeah.
would be a good combination. Someone like a Godsmack,
Mhm.
but
Also, side note, I would definitely see Godsmack again. That show was freaking amazing.
yeah, it sounded like it was fun for
Oh,
you.
it was. It
That's
was.
awesome.
It was. But all right, I suppose that's our show for today. It is
Yeah,
that time. Time to wrap this shit up.
good times. I didn't see. Sorry, I haven't been putting much stuff into show titles, so I don't know what we have to choose from today.
Now, I put some show titles in. I'll
Okay,
let me do this
check it
here
out.
for the people at home. Vote on some show titles. Oh, my bad.
I actually love the eargasm. Is the name
Uh-huh.
of the headphones.
Yeah,
So
isn't that funny?
that'll be cool. So I'll check that out later today.
Um, go to this. If you're in chat, go to tomandomnor.showbot.tv. Go and vote on some show titles that we have. There's probably about 5 or 6 in there. Help us name this show. But for now, we are Two Nerds One Quest. I am Norm, that is Kooch, and we will be back. We actually have no show next week. Next week is the 4th. Monday is the 4th, but we are off for the holiday weekend. But after that, we will be back the Sunday after that, 8:30 a.m. Central Time. Give us some support. Let us know what you think of the show. Podcast comes out Monday mornings, 7:30 a.m. Central Time is when I send it out. Let us know. Get the podcast wherever you get your podcast from. Patreon.com/2nerdsonquest if you want to support us monetarily. We appreciate it. Offset some of the costs. Also, let other people know that we are a thing. Let other people know that we're a show. We do Dungeons & Dragons most of the time. And because we're down, we just did some chat talk today. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you had fun. We did. I love talking with my friends about nerdy shit. It doesn't get any better than this. So, yeah. In 2 weeks, we'll catch you again. For Kooch, for JC, for the Genius, I am Norm. We'll catch you later.
Boomtown, get him.
All right, if you're in chat, go to tommnorm.showbot.tv. Vote on some of these show titles. I'm going to pull them up and I'm going to read them out. All right, we got Shake a Little Aaron off. We got Battlin' Oral in Ythrin. Oral spelled O-R-A-L, because that makes me laugh. Shaquille O'Neal of Birds. Darth Vadery. Where's the Lego Blood? Those are our show titles. I do like the Shaquille O'Neal of Birds because that that was pretty good.
Doing it.
Yeah.
I'm selfishly doing it.
Do it. Do it. We'll see what other people vote in the chat if they vote.
I saw Scott in the chat, and
yeah, I did see Scott in the chat.
Or are you gonna navigate into the grad party today?
I don't think I'm gonna be able to.
Good to know.
Are you? I'm assuming you're headed there.
A little later, yeah.
A little later. Wow. What time does it start?
It's like one to dinner time. But mostly just to get the kids out there and enjoy the day at a park.
Yeah,
so
right.
It kills two birds with one big stone.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we're just kind of getting ready for vacation and getting stuff together. And I know Stacy has a thing that she's going to today for a little bit. And we neglected the dogs yesterday. They were stuck in the basement while we did a bunch of outside yard work, so they need some love.
Oh, you're not gonna want to neglect the dogs, man.
No, they've been barky, whiny, little jerk faces. They're cute, but they're assholes.
Yeah, I don't know if you can take dogs into the city parks in Green Bay. Do you know?
I don't know.
That would be my, I think if nobody's gonna care, nobody's gonna care. But I'm not sure you can.
I should have brought this guy out for our Star Wars talk.
Oh yeah, my little clone trooper.
Yeah. Lego Technic.
Oh, that's a Lego guy.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
There you go, chat. A little Lego.
I have a lot of little Star Wars Lego sets that the kids got my wife and I along the way here. Bunch of little Imperial ships. I had a Millennium Falcon until
nice.
The cats knocked that off the table, and so that got put away.
I had when episode 1 came out, I got the Lego Technic. The droid bot that rolls and then pops up.
Oh, the droid Daka.
Yeah, that thing.
That guy's cool, man.
It was literally it was like a foot high, maybe a foot and a half high, and it had rubber bands and everything, so you were supposed to be able to ball it up, and then when you rolled it, it would pop open. I mean, obviously, because it was Lego, it didn't work that well. But it was
Oh,
a
right.
really
Yeah.
cool showpiece to have sitting on my mantle, and I ended up giving it to my nephews as a display thing. I don't know, probably like 3 years ago.
Man, that sounds awesome.
It was.
I might look that guy up. Man.
It
That
was
might
really good.
seem, that
Uh,
seems cool.
yep, because they
That would
came
be
out
a
with.
fun build too. I mean,
Oh, it
honestly,
was.
was it a fun build?
It was.
Yeah.
It was a little tough. Because it's got like all these not rubber, essentially rubber bands, like circular, round, instead of being flat rubber bands. They were kind of round because you had to have it, open and close and all that stuff. And there's like a dozen or two of those that you had to kind of fit in without breaking stuff, and really I was looking to get rubber bands to replace them because that was 20 years ago that I probably got that.
Oh,
And,
jeez.
The rubber
That's
bands
been out of
themselves.
print then forever.
Oh, you can still buy it.
Really?
If you check eBay and stuff. But the rubber bands themselves, I would have had to buy, third-party rubber bands to. I'm not sure what size I would have needed, and
Yeah.
it was kind of a droopy. It was a droopy droid because the rubber bands were all flexed out, stretched
That's
out.
funny.
Yeah.
So yeah, when I cast shield in one of my other characters, shield is a reaction.
Uh-huh.
When you get hit, you can pop up a shield
Oh,
and increase your AC
nice.
to basically like deflect that spell or attack. That's exactly what I say. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pop up my shield like a droid Deka.
Nice.
So
That's funny.
that's like how everybody understands what I'm talking about, right? It creates that shield around you.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's awesome. But
Nice.
all right.
Cool. Well, it looks like Shaquille O'Neal of Birds is our winner.
Then it's just happening by default.
Yeah.
All right. I'm just calling it then.
Yep. We're gonna call that good. So thanks to everybody in
Alright.
chat for popping in. We had quite the list today. It's very nice to see. And
Awesome.
hopefully you'll be back again in 2 weeks. Yeah.
Real good.
I don't think there's anybody online to see if there's anybody here to raid. Nope. Nobody's in my list that's here to raid. So we're going to call it a day. So thanks, chat.
Well, it's fun hanging out, Tom.
At all. Definitely.
Go get him, dog. We'll see you.